I actually had my eyes on key level 2 initially and then key level 1. Break above key level 1, we target the Friday's high. So let's now break down the pre-market plan here. So this is where I want to draw your attention to something important. So you may have seen me showing this. So if I go to James, actually, you may have seen me showing this.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
So what this refers to is the premium footprint execution process. And so execution process is, let me take my headphones off because it's running out of battery. So I've taken my headphones off. Hopefully you can still hear me.
Yeah, I can.
So basically, the premium footprint execution process refers to the step-by-step mechanical system, but more so a step-by-step mechanical mental framework that you want to follow. Because if you can follow this mental framework, you will win. So all the problems that you were facing earlier, I've not asked you what your problems are, but describe to me what one of your problems are. Because every problem that you go through, right, can be ironed out or fixed if you take it through the lens of the premium footprint execution process.
Yeah, so one of my problems is I'm struggling with taking losses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In what way? Describe.
Like when I take a loss, I'll feel very uneasy.
Same.
And I'll feel like I need to redeem myself that day, that moment, and very something that I'm really working on.
Okay, when you say losses, what do you think drives them?
What do I think drives them? I think, to be honest, I think losses are normal. In hindsight, losses are normal. It's just the way you react. Because the way we trade over a longer period of time, even with losses, we're still going to be profitable and win.
Well, as you know, right, because you passed a funded account, so you already know that.
Yeah. And it's something that I have to relearn again.
Don't worry, man. That will keep coming up over and over again, right? So losses are never going to go away. I don't mean that to like scare you, but losses are never going to go away, ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that sounds a bit but I thought I'd tell you early on. So, what the reason I've introduced the premium footprint execution process as the signature system for Price Action Labs, right, is so you can basically get a grip of the 4 P's to profitability. And I want you to approach every single session with the premium footprint execution process in place. Now, this is a physical protocol you can follow, but it's also a mental framework that I also want you to follow too. Okay? It comes down to what we focus on here. So we want to read so assuming you know how to find your key levels, so that this is remember the 4 pillar process I introduced you in January or February?
Yeah.
This is the same thing, but I've kind of rebranded it as the 4-step process, right? I've done that purposefully so I can put it into an acronym for you to remember, right? So structure, targeted liquidity, equilibrium, and price imbalance. When you step up the steps, you end up at the key level. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Second thing is, now we're going to move on to read. And so this is where I see traders messing up the most. Because once they have a key level, assuming their key level is correct, they then need to have a proper read of price. And so I see a lot of traders trading price action without actually having an understanding of reading price, right? If you can, so for example, I'm going to use today's execution to explain this. It will be the easiest way for me to do it. So when we read price, we look at, what does read stand for?
It was I forgot exactly. I haven't actually done this much.
Yeah, so I know I don't think I've even introduced it to you, right? So read is basically the bid and ask. Read the bid and ask, evaluate the delta, assess the aggression, and detect zeros.
Yep. Okay.
Right? I will send this recording to you afterwards, but this is the read blueprint, yeah?
So this is good for, I'm assuming, entries?
No, entries is the second one, but in order for you to enter, you need to have a good reader price, right?
Okay.
So that's why we do it. So this is what we call, if we go back to the signature system, this is what we call having a good reader price. So once you've had positioning, you then want to read price. So positioning, price. Yeah?
Yep.
Positioning, price. So how do you read price? You read price with the order flow, or how I branded it as the real-time reading blueprint. The reason I say real-time is because you're only interested in the order flow at that level, at that time. So you're not interested in what